it's TheMakeupChair. Today I'm doing look 3 of my bridal looks. I have one here that you can click on and one here. The classic bridal look that I have up here, I'm actually going to recreate today using some cheaper alternative products that you can try out. So I hope you guys enjoy it and just keep watching. Very first thing that you want to do is to cleanse, tone and moisturize your face. Apply your moisturizer and leave it a few minutes to soak in the skin. Apply lip balm and then a little bit of eye cream as well. It's just something that I always like to do. So I'm going to take this foundation, and this is the REVLON ColorStay, and I have it in the lightest shade that they have. I'm going to apply a little bit over my eyelids with my Blank Canvas Cosmetics foundation brush, and we're actually going to start off with the eyes and then move on to the rest of the face. And this will just get rid of any discoloration on there, and I just like to pat it in with my fingertips, just making sure it's blended in. Take some e.l.f. eyelid primer. If you don't have e.l.f. near you, then try Essence and work this over the lids. Then I'm just going to dust the lid with a tiny bit of a loose powder or a pressed powder, and this is just going to make sure that we don't have any oiliness coming through. So I picked up this Essence eyeshadow set. It's got a nice variety of shades, perfect for kind of that bridal kind of natural look. This has a matte shade and these are all shimmer. So I'm going to start off by taking this one here, and I'm working that over my lids, starting on the inner portion and then just blending it across. And I'm just using a flat shader brush for this. You could also use your fingertips. Then I'm going to take the shade beside it and just work this over the rest of the lid. So I'm just blending it very lightly over the lid. I don't want it to be too light on my lid, so this is just going to make sure it's a little bit softer. And I'm also going to use this one as my brow highlight. Just has a very simple sheen to it. For my crease color, I'm going to use this Natural Collection eyeshadow in Milk Chocolate. And it's a really nice crease color. It's kind of not too dark, not too light. It just adds a little bit of definition to the eyes. I'm going to take a fluffy brush, or a blending brush, and you're going to keep your eyes open and work this just a touch above your actual eyelid. And I'm working back and forth across the length of the eyelid. Remember to keep your eyeshadows within this line. Place your brush alongside the edge of your nose, the edge of your eye, and right up to your brow. Everything down here needs to be clear so that you're lifting the eye and you're working it upwards. I'm going to go back to this palette and take a touch of that dark shade. And what I'm going to do with this is just to contour a little bit, just right outside here. So to place your brush just in the outer corner, wherever you placed your brush down first is where you're going to get the majority of color, and then blend it in. I'm going to go back in with that first brush that we used and a touch of that mid-tone, and I'm going to work this underneath my eye, right up close to the lashes, and then you can just blend it into the outer corner. You want to curl your eyelashes really well, so place your eyelash curler just to the root of the eyelashes, press down, make sure you're not squeezing the skin, and then just hold it for a few seconds. Then I take a little eyelash curler, and this is from e.l.f., and I place it on the outer corner and then work my way in. Now the little tip that I like to do is to kind of define the actual roots of the lashes, and I do that by taking a black eyeshadow. This is Jet Black by Rimmel, and I'm going to take a flat brush to do this. And what you want to do with this eyeshadow is you're going to kind of look down in the mirror and you're going to push the eyeshadow in between your lashes. So I'm just kind of pushing it up, working it right in between my eyelashes. So you can see how much more defined this eye looks compared to this one. I'm going to move on to mascara, and I'm going to use a waterproof mascara. Apply one very thin coat, and then I let that dry, and I will come back to it afterwards. You want to clean up any fallout underneath the eyes, and we're going to move on to foundation. I'm going to start by using the Almay Pore Minimizer. You just need a very small amount of this. You could also use the Gosh Primer, the Mineral Infused Face Primer by e.l.f., or the L'OREAL Studio Fix. So for my foundation, I'm going to mix up the ColorStay by Revlon in the lightest shade that they have, and also the lightest shade that they have from Rimmel 25 Hour. Just put a little bit of both on the back of my hand and just worked it in with my foundation brush, and I'm just going to dab this over my face and then start to blend it in. So I'm just kind of pressing it into the skin, pressing it in and blending it across the face. You might have to apply just a touch extra foundation than you normally would, just for photographs, because flash and photography, just really washes out your face. Remember to blend down the neck and right up to the hairline. And you can also place a little bit on the ears because they can kind of get a little bit red. Once I've blended in the foundation, I just like to take a damp sponge, and these are just kind of cosmetic foundation sponges. And I just like to go over the top of the foundation, kind of dabbing it and rolling it in, just making sure that it's nice and blended and there's no kind of harsh lines or where it's not blended or anything. I have two concealers here. This is the L'OREAL Infallible, which is great for under eyes and on blemishes. And this is actually the Sleek Hide It Concealer, and it is kind of the same thing, except this has SPF 15, and I don't think that this has SPF in it. So I prefer to go with things that don't have any SPF, because SPF can create that kind of white look in photographs. So I am going to take this, I'm working on the back of my hand, to warm up a little bit of the concealer, and then I use my ring finger and I just dab this around the eye area where I have kind of discoloration. Remember, only apply the concealer where it is necessary. Don't apply it kind of like all underneath the eyes or anything. Just apply it where it's needed. So once you've covered the area, just blend out and kind of stipple out the edges. And get around the nose, because hormonally that can get quite red. And then you can work it on any blemishes that you have. So I just like to press it and make sure it comes in contact with the blemish, and then you just want to blend out the edges. You want to try and make sure that your foundation and your concealer match. If they don't match, just apply a little touch of your foundation over the top of it just to blend it back in with the skin. I'm just going to keep working on all the blemishes, which I have a lot of. Just going to add our second coat of mascara. Next, you want to take a pressed powder or a loose powder, and you're going to set everything that's on your face. This is just going to make sure it lasts longer. It's going to make sure there's no shine in photographs. I like to just dab it and then kind of blend it so that you don't disturb the makeup underneath. So just dab a little bit on and then kind of wipe off the excess. If you were to use a cream highlighter, blush or bronzer, you want to do that before you set with a powder. If you do it afterwards, you'll end up with kind of a cakey, non-blended mess. Then take a larger brush and just kind of brush down the face. This isn't totally necessary, but what this will do is to make sure all the hairs in the face are lying flat. Next, I'm going to take my blush, and this is in Pink Cloud. It's one of my favorite blushes. I use it all the time. Now, the thing about this is a color that I naturally flush to. If you find yourself blushing a lot and you're worried that in photographs your face is going to look really pinky or reddish, go for like a peach color, mix it up with a little bit of bronzer, and that way you'll still add life to your face, but you're not going to have that problem. So you want to smile, and you want to go from here, which is the apple, all the way up towards the top of the ear. So you want to do this, and this is your blend line. And I just kind of stipple on a little bit. If you are slightly older, then apply it a touch higher, and that way it will lift your face. I'm not going to apply highlighter because I am very pale, so my face is already like a big highlighted moon. So instead I'm going to contour a little bit more. I'm going to take my contour shade here, and this is in Light, and it is by Sleek Cosmetics. I'm going to take this kind of funky looking brush, which really works into the cheekbones. Always apply bronzer very, very lightly and build it up. It's the same with blush. And I'm just going to start by smiling and getting just a little bit underneath there, just where the natural shadows of the face appear. And then I just blend it. And then I just like to blend it on the outer corners of the face as well, and down the neck. And I like to do a top of the forehead as well, because my forehead is kind of on the largest side. So I just do the top here, and then I just blend it down the temples. Now I'm going to do the brows. Take my brow pencil, and this is in Light Brown. It's by Essence, and it has this nifty little brush. So I'm going to start by just brushing my brows upward. I'm just going to fill in this area here, just where I don't really have any hairs, and then I'm just going to work along the brows and creating more of an arch on this side by going up and then down on the other side. Then I'm going to take the brush that's on the lid, and I'm just going to comb through the brows, and I'm going to work in that pencil, just blending it in. Now it's time for the lips. You don't have to line lips, you know, it's not something that you have to do every time you wear lipstick, but in photographs I find if you define the lip shape, they don't disappear. And then I'm going to take my lipstick. It looks matte, but it's quite moisturizing. Apply a touch of a lip gloss over the top just to soften it. Or you can try using just a touch of lip balm as well. So that's the look finished. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll put the links up here to the other bridal videos. If you would like to see some bridesmaid looks, prom looks, or anything like that, and let me know exactly what you'd like to see. I will talk to you guys soon. I'm Sinead Katie, and thank you for watching.